then this is one of the major part which I had to decide, like what kind of study if I was interested in a topic.
Do you enjoy learning without distractions? Download our app now.
The next part is, okay, now I have come up with the topic. So I felt that, there are different steps to, come up with the research, what you want to do. The first is refine my topic. In refining my topic, first what I did is I did lot of research work. Like, if I had to come up with a periodontal stem cell regeneration, I realized there's something called as stem cells which have the potential to regeneration. And then I had to dig deeper. How was it feasible for me to do it? Like in my college, is there a stem cell laboratory where I can do? So my idea was, again, as a periodontal PG postgraduate, what we used to do is we take the granulation tissue out and we throw it into the dustbin, right? So my thing was, why can't we regenerate that live tissues? In that small live tissue, we have so many, almost up to 10 million cells, gingival cells, which you can regenerate and grow. So you guys would have heard about, like, blood banking, keep your umbilical cord, store it. So my idea was, probably if you can, take the gingival tissue, take the stem cells out and store it, and then reuse it in future for regeneration of your teeth when you lose it and all that. So probably that was one of my idea. So I'm like, how do I do about it? So then I understood there is something called as stem cells, mesenchymal stem cells in those granulation tissue. So I had to focus more and more and more. I had to go deeper, like how it is done. How do I isolate it? How do I take that cells out? How do I store it? How do I grow it? How do I put it in the tooth back? So all that. And next comes feasibility. I had to check, is it possible to do it in my college? Do I have the facility to do it? All that needs to be checked. Then, of course, this is the top thing, Google search and PubMed, where I feel every time I used to put the keywords periodontal ligament stem cells and oral cancer, or periodontal ligament stem cells and regeneration. There are so many articles, but my main focus was, in the last 5 years, what other studies which have already been done. One thing, when you think about doing a research, make sure there's something unique to it and not something which people have already done and you're just copying it again. Not much weightage to it anywhere, for funding purpose or publication purpose, for anything. See something, something unique to your research work where other people have not done. You can take ideas from different articles, but stick to something which is unique, which is not there in the articles, and how you can make it very different from what is already existing. So that way, it takes a little bit time of literature review work. Then coming to the right mentor. This is, I think, one of the most important when we do a project. Now, if I want to do a periodontal ligament stem cell project and I wanted to choose a guide, I could choose a guide who is a periodontist, but actually, right now, my guide is a stem cell expert. That way, what happens to me is, I get more oriented towards stem cell part of it. Periodontology, I have already done my, post graduation. I'm good. Regeneration, tooth regeneration, all that. Now, if I find a mentor who has idea only about periodontology but no idea about stem cell, your study is not going to go anywhere. You need to find a mentor who knows about stem cells so that you can, connect your study to them. So that was one of the biggest. And one more thing, I would always suggest, find a mentor who has already done previous research work. This is my personal experience, because when you apply for publications and if that author has already many research work, your articles get more accepted. If that research person has already got funding, the other funding agencies, which when you're planning to apply, They know that, okay, the guide is already doing active research, so there are more chances, so they give more funding for this person. Because then a lot of people, what they do in funding, they get the funding, they do half the research, and then they don't get back. So that thing they don't want. They want some people who give active results to that research work. So that way it's very important to choose the right mentor. And something called as collaborative research. If you don't have any facility in your college, you can connect with different colleges and find out if they have that, and then you can co-mentor. You can find a co-guide. That also is important, because the more people you have in your group who have done more research, your research work has more validity for it. Like, it has more weightage to it. And then, of course, again, find what is available to do your research. Then coming to protocol, this is totally a very important part of the entire research area, what we do, because it took me ages to learn this. And what is acceptable by the judges who are who are in the committee who gives funding for research work. It took a lot of time from different people. I took experiences. I learned what is my mistake, what I should not be writing in my objectives, aims, or title, how everything. So probably I'll just brush through these slides very quickly, because I want to talk about it, but 1 hour is not at all sufficient for this. We will be definitely having more of this on our masterclass series. So let me just quickly, these are the different parts of a research proposal. Coming to the cover letter, there are some areas where you will require a cover letter. If you're doing it in a college purpose, you will definitely require cover letter. Basically, write a brief idea about your project and submit it to your college, institution, or any other area where you're submitting your research work. Coming to the title, this I would stress on this a little bit. First of all, put it in the end. Okay. Always frame a proposal and then try to keep the title in the end, because exactly how your research works. Here, main thing is, what are you doing, and what kind of study you're doing, and whom are you targeting, your target audience. That three needs to be highlighted in your title. Don't keep it very long, don't keep it very short, keep it as concise as possible. uh, Keywords, stick to keywords. That thrust areas I told, right? Thrust area keywords is quite important over here. Coming to project summary and abstract, again, this has to be put it in the end. Don't put it, even though it comes in beginning of any research proposal, I would suggest you to write your entire proposal and then put a short summary of it. Don't do it in the beginning itself. Then coming to the problem need, this or introduction part or background, they say here, highlight what is the problem in which your research is going to find a solution for. Like you have example. So this is another part. You have a background or a problem need. That there you have to more stress on what is the problem of the people and where your research is going to find a solution for it. Okay. And then they say about aims and objectives. You have to be very specific about this. What I would suggest is, aim is your title, but in a different way. Like, what are you going to project your research on? What is your final outcome of your research? That is supposed to be your aim. And this is very strong point, because this is the one thing which all the whoever is evaluating your research is going to look on. What are your study going to aim at, and what is it going to find out about? Then coming to objectives, of course, I would always suggest, like, writing objectives methodology wise. Like when you have three or four objectives, split it into it. See that there is a continuation of objectives, not like one objective is like, very different, and another objective is totally another different study. It doesn't work. And keep it very, I mean, like, this is again what I have gone through. Like each objective, what I did was, in each objective, what was my methodology going to be? I had to write that, and then I get the outline of my objectives. Then coming to novelty and social relevance, it's another heading which we have to write under. What is your research work new? Like, what is the new thing in your research? And there is a existing gap in the society, and how your research work is going to find a solution for it. Then again, methodology, I told you, that will be like example. Probably my first objective was preparation of the prototype for intraoral shielding. So under that, I split my methodology, like optimization of my prototype and preparation of the prototype and all that. My second objective was now clinical safety evaluation of my prototype. So what are the different preclinical safety evaluation? So I split my methodology. That way it becomes easier for you to write your methodology section as well, like when you split your objective wise methodology. Then coming to evaluation plan and timeline, this again, there's something called as Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a representative of our project work. Like in the first 6 months, what are we planning to do? In the next 6 months, what are we planning to do? Every research proposal requires this, because if we don't stick to this, we lose track of not working on it. And there's something called as indicators of progress, which I would suggest, because at the end of every month, what is the progress which you're going to show from that month? If you have that ready, I think your proposal and your research work is going to become very easy for you to, like, go ahead. Then outcome and deliverables, like again, what is your outcome? Is it a product, or is it some data which you're coming about, or is it some drug related study? Do you have, is the drug working, is the drug not working? Basically again, data presentation, that you have to write under outcomes and deliverables. Then a budget, again, this is one of my project budget, like equipment and consumables, which we consumables, I have put 26 lakhs. I think it's one of the BIRAC project only. Manpower up to 6 lakhs, then incubation services, all that, like under different headings we write the budget. Then references. In BDS and MDS, I have learned one of the easiest way to find and references a citation. First, open the Google Scholar and write gingival stem cells and oral cancer. Then there is a portion to cite this thing, and that you get the citation over here. Why I have put this particular is because as a BDS and MDS as well, I had no idea about this. Like, how do I do the citation? I used to go to each article and find out, but it's very easy in Google Scholar. So I just put this slide over there. Of course, then we have my, after writing a protocol, we submitted to something called as scientific review board. A lot of people ask me, like, why do we need to submit it to the review board? But this is to become authenticity, to get more authenticity to your research work, even ethical clearance. If you're doing any kind of study, be it a questionnaire study, be it any observational, in vitro, human, non-human, animal, any kind of study, institutional ethics committee, that approval is required for your study. Usually it's very easy to get, like you just have to submit the protocol, and if it is not animal and a human, it's easy to get. If it's a human and animal involvement, is this basically this committee acts like their rights organization, human rights organization, animal rights organization. So all that they take care, so that how are their data safeguarded, all that these people take care. And that's why this is important. Again, when you do publication for your research work, they do ask you that, do you have an institutional ethical approval? If you don't have, not many publication will even accept your research work. So I feel this is one of the way to show that your research work is authenticated by the institution. Then one of the most major important thing I think everybody requires is funding for the research work. Now, I didn't know what was an internal and external research funding. So when I got to it, I understood that internal is something which the university itself provides you. So some universities, not all, but some universities do have their own provision where they fund the students directly, like probably the BDS graduates or the MDS graduates. They give their own. But the highest internal grants available or internal funding is seed grants. That is, every faculty is eligible to do a research work, and the college, if they like the topic, they provide the money for you to do the research work. Faculty. So if the faculty gets, of course, you can work under that and your research work is done. Now, external funding agencies means other than your institution, other than your university, when you get funding from outside. Like example, I got MSME Women Grant 3.0. That was an external funding agency for me. Now, when I dig deeper, I realize that there are three different ways. You either get national or regional or international. What I'm telling was, remember, I just told you sometime back we got that Elevate grant. So it was a startup grant by Karnataka. So because I'm in Karnataka, I work in a Karnataka institution. So I got a grant from Karnataka. Same way Kerala also has, Tamil Nadu also has, they have their own state grant which they give for research. Then national, of course, I'll be talking on that. And then international. International also, not many people know about this option, but there are a lot of options which you can apply. And people have got, it's not impossible to get international funding as well. Like these are the main few funding agencies. Let me just quickly read them. ICMR, DPT, DST, UGC, BRNS, BIRAC, CSIR, SERB, Ayush, DRDO. These are the main Indian nationalized funding agencies for all your research work. I'll be just brushing through all this. Like these are the schemes and fellowships which ICMR provides. This is by ICMR DHR. This is by UGC, DBT, DBT again, DST, BRNS, DAE. Then we have the BIRAC, and international level we have, like again, so many Commonwealth universities and British Council Foundation, all that international collaborations where all these in India collaborative R&D program, BRICS multilateral projects, all that is there. And there are a lot of projects where you can go to a different country, do it and come back. All that is available in international collaboration. International student exchange program as well as there. Brazil, Belgium, Germany, Australia, everything has student exchange program for research work. Now, I'll be talking more detail about this in our masterclasses series later on, but we don't have time to go into specific of all this today. Then, of course, you conduct the study. Now, again, try, since if you're an BDS graduate or an MDS undergraduate, like, better to choose topics which not many people are involved. Because when many people are involved, what happens is, this is one of my project which I had undergone, where I had like three different co-guides. So what happened there? Like one of the co-guide agrees with one thing, and the other co-guide is like, no, 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 this can't be done. So it becomes really a problem for us if we take involve too many people as well. So try to keep two people maximum, and stick to, like, others being only as a team member, and you're the only those two people is enough kinds. Because the more people or more mentors you involve, there's going to be more chances of your research going nowhere. Then keep deadlines, work towards it. Balance with, this is one of the things, balance with college and research. Keep updating yourself about what is happening in Google. You need to keep doing Google search again and again, because if somebody has already done and it got published, like, few months back, so what is different again in your study? When you publish it, you should not put it in the same way. You should put it from a different point of view. All that when you do. Then, of course, once you finish the study, you do a checklist and then you submit the reports and everything. Publication. This is one more thing. How do I find the right publication? This is a point where I used to frequently get stuck in. But we have something called as Elsewhere Journal Finders, Journal Suggester, and Wiley Journal Finder, Journal Recommender. So what happens is, you can put whatever your title and make a small summary and keep it ready. So when that is ready, what you can just put it into these, and these will have uh, uh, they'll have their, like, in each publication, which are the journals which is most relevant to it. uh, Big no for predatory journals. Please make sure it is published in PubMed or Scopus index journals. If you put it in predatory journals, which I have done because I wanted to finish my MDS. I just wanted to randomly just finish publishing it and just be done with it. So I have published in predatory journal, but no point because there's no scope for it as such. Then yeah, now another thing is article publishing fees. This is one thing which I always check for. And I always used to think, oh my God, why do they charge so much? But then there are two options of getting away from publishing manuscript in these. One thing is if you opt for close access, you don't have to pay. The whoever wants to read your paper will. Citations is less, but if an institution already has a subscription or something, then like you don't have to pay for it, kinds. And open access, you will have to pay. And but all good journals have a really high article publishing charges. One more way of publishing it is your faculty can get publishing charges waived off through college. So not an undergraduate level, but if your faculty is being the first author, then that publication has more chances of getting. The college pays for the publication fees. Then conferences, whatever research work we have to publish in poster and paper presentation format. One thing here is I had got one travel grant for when like 2 years back, where I had gone for a conference in Kerala, and the travel grant was given by my institution as well as a seed grant. It was a part of a seed grant. So you not many people know that, but when you're going for paper poster presentation and all your travel expense and stay expense can be sorted with the travel grant. And different travel grants are available by the Indian funding agencies. It's like you have SERB travel grant, you have ICMR travel grant, I think you have DBT travel grant, and if you already got a research grant under that travel section, you have a travel grant. So whatever is said and done, I feel at this point all of us can utilize this if we are doing any research work. This is one of the most common thing which all the researchers as such do, but as clinicians we have no idea about it. Then, what I would suggest is, especially as Harita asked me, like BDS, how do we find the right topic and everything? Whenever you choose a topic, I feel see that that topic has a continuity to it. Like even after you finish your part one of the research project, see that in the next project you can make this only in a larger scale. What is the benefit of it is that the second part of your project has more chances of getting funding because there is a preliminary work already done. So they already know, oh, you're actively working on this research, and they're like, okay, we are ready to fund this. So I always feel start with something small, probably in your BDS level itself, continue that in MDS, and then make it a large scale study later. It is a really really like great pathway if you can start it like right at the early. Yeah, these are the different funding things, funding ways. Like grants, we have research grant, seminar, fellowship grant, travel grant, publication grant, seed grant, center for excellence, equipment. Everything is being funded over here. We just need to focus on what is required for us. Then okay, let me talk about BDS and MBBS over here. This is ICMR short-term studentship, which is right now opened. It's up to 30th June. It's already open. And MBBS and BDS students are eligible to apply for it. So this is one of the BDS and undergraduate level funding provided. One more is BIRAC. BIRAC has EUA scheme. Again, it's for undergraduate students. Up to 30,000 stipend you get, and up to 2.5 lakh research grant you get. Then, as I spoke about long-term and short-term fellowship and women scientist fellowship, this was one of the biggest one which I found, because I really felt as BDS, if we can finish and join this fellowship, up to 65,000 per month and 10 lakhs per year for your research is given. Yeah, this is how student ship has to be like, uploaded on ICMR website. Now, we are going to have another research masterclass for postgraduate students as well. Like what happens when you enter MDS, how to search more acceptable topics, how to take help from the guide, what are the funding options for MDS, MD students, what are the requirement for thesis, then how to do publications, how to present in conferences. All that will be explained in the research masterclass for postgraduate students. So I think, yeah, that's about it. I don't know if I spoke for long.
Wait, there's more. But before we go further down the rabbit hole, subscribe to our channel.